Hi everyone. At the weekend I went to play a Spiritforged pre-rift event at my locals, and I just thought I'd record my experience and share how it went. So to start off with, I slightly struggle to open the actual pre-rift box, and then I'll get my Ezreal pre-rift legend kit as well as my Yone promo. Ezreal's not a bad kit, legend kit to get. Obviously Lucian, I think everyone knows that Lucian is probably the best one that you can actually get as the pre-built pack, but I'm not unhappy with how it is. There are a good few cards in here, like the Ezreal Champion is pretty good, Rocket Barrage is obviously very strong, Wages of Pain, the Plundering Pro. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the purple cards that come in the pack. I don't think purple is super strong in this pre-rift event, with the sealed event especially. But it depends really on what you pull. So going through the packs, I am mainly concerned, just as I'm opening them, if I get any good hits or any quite expensive epics, and then I'll basically come to figure out what I want to do after I've opened all my packs and what type of deck I want to build. So the first pack, I do open a Draven Legend and the Showcase Yellow Renata, which is it's an okay card, but I doubt that I'm actually going to play any of those, especially the Draven or the Renata, unless I basically hit very good cards in both those colours. A Punch First, it's always really good to open, because it is definitely one of the best cards to get in the sealed format. And to be honest, a lot of the yellow cards like Blood Money and even like Death Grip here, they're all just really good generic cards. I really do like yellow in this sealed event. There's not a whole lot of really expensive cards, I don't think, in it, but especially like epics, but the commons and uncommons are also really good in my opinion, like Honest Broker as well. I pulled Aurelia, Jax and Azir as my foils and rares. The Jax is pretty good, but I don't really end up pulling any equipment, and obviously the Aurelia Champion is very good, basically allowing you to get ready all your guys, but I don't end up using it. I don't end up using any legend actually. This pack was a one rare pack. I only managed to get the Sevilla, the purple one. It's a pretty good card, but like I said, I don't really think there's enough payoffs in purple by itself to really play it, unless you get something like really good and you get a lot of the better cards in it. I get another Yellow Renata, just the regular version this time, a Longsword and a Relentless Pursuit. So pretty good cards. But then I start to go through them, looking at which colours I actually have, what cards in each colour I have, the mana cost, where all my best cards to play an actual playable deck are. And with only having 7 red cards, I don't think I'm really going to include that. And then I kind of sort through all the cards that I definitely just don't think are going to be very good to play at all. The legends, but obviously I'm not thinking about playing a legend specifically. I'm more thinking of if I have good colours, or if I have good cards in those colours, then I can think about playing the legend. I want to build my actual 25 card main deck first before I start thinking about a legend to play, because I don't want to play Aurelia and then I don't have enough purple cards or enough green cards, because then it's a bit of a waste, because I'm just playing bad cards in my deck to play a legend, which sometimes works out, but I just prefer to play bad cards. So I'm going through my colours here, and to start with, I'm thinking about playing orange and green and yellow, just because orange is a pretty good colour and you get the Yone, but I eventually, right before the event, I do swap back to blue instead, mainly just so I can play the Ezreal Chosen Champion and have it start as my Chosen Champion each game, just because I think having a strong Chosen Champion is just it's very useful in a sealed format, because at least you always have a good card to play when you need it. So even if it is turn 2 and I don't manage to get a unit, I can still just play down a blue Ezreal, and he's definitely pretty good in this format compared to Constructed. So yeah, this is my list on the screen. I've definitely seen better ones, but I think I managed to make it work with what I had. I've got quite a lot of interruption and just good like 2 to 4 cost cards is where quite a lot of my curve is. I do have removal, especially like the rocket barrage. I felt like I was missing some equipment. World Atlas is okay, but it's not amazing. Doran's shield is okay, it's a +1. Eye of the Herald obviously lets you get more things, more units on the board, but with and cloth armor as like a combat trick is good, but those were like the only ones that I had, so that is partly why I decided not to play orange with Weapon Master and the Yones, because I only pulled one more orange item. If I pulled a few more equipments, I might have ended up playing it. But yeah, it wasn't bad. I never really had like awful hands, or I could never like get into a game. But yeah, I did actually manage to record some of my games. So here's one of them. I'm playing against my friend Louis. He is playing Draven with the Rek'Sai Chosen Champion, the red one, and as you can see, I'm only playing the Ezreal, blue Ezreal as my chosen champion, so I do get to get an extra draw. I did forget that in the first game, the first match that I did actually play at the event. But yeah, so to start with, I managed to go first. I play a Plundering Poro to start with, managed to conquer on turn 2 because he just plays a Sea Monkey for 3. I get my gold token, I play an Honest Broker on the battlefield, and I'm still trying to keep in mind of how to play around Draven, not just giving free easy combats just so they don't draw a lot, because especially in sealed, if you're drawing cards in sealed is so strong, just so you have more options to do things with. So he conquers the other battlefield and plays his red Rek'Sai to base. I do have a rocket barrage in my hand, and I'm thinking about if I'm just going to use it on it, and I think it is probably just the best play to do. So getting my hold point, and I can either develop more, but I think just the best thing to do is to just kill his unit, so that he just has less things on the board. Along with the gold token that I got from the Poro, it also means I don't go behind in runes, and then I can just play a Lonely Poro to base and pass it over to him, because I don't really think I need to keep anything up for any combat tricks that I have in my hand, because he'd have to have basically an accelerate unit to be able to get through the battlefield or do anything important. So he gets his whole point 2-2, and then he plays a Ferrous Forerunner, and I very much do not like when he plays this card, because to get around it and try to get rid of all his value from it, he's basically always going to be able to get the 2 mechs, because I'm not playing purple, I'm not playing any different removal, so I basically just have to kill it. He pulls back his monkey and he plays a Dirk, I believe, and at this point I'm trying to think of how I can actually kill the Forerunner, because I know that he's going to send it in next turn, so I'm trying to think of the best way that I can actually clear it without him getting either all the value or all the tempo, and me losing too many cards in the process, or the board state. So my thinking at this point is I have a Wages of Pain, I also have a Death Grip in hand, so I think as long as he doesn't have like a punch first or something, if he goes to send everything in, I'm still able to kill the Forerunner just with the Ezreal ability and the Wages of Pain if I Death Grip to kill one of my guys at the same time, to buff how much the Ezreal is doing, so that he doesn't actually get to do any combat damage to me, with the Forerunner at least. So I'm at 4 at this point because I send the Poro into the other battlefield, just so, although he'll probably get a draw from it, I also do want to get the draw so I can see more of my deck, because the Poro is just a 2 cost unit at this point with 2 might. So if he does send the monkey in to attack it, which he does end up doing, it means he has less might to attack me with, so my Ezreal, which is basically the most important card in my field at this point, is in a lot less danger from anything they can really do. So I think for a minute about whether I want to like Wages of Pain it just to protect the Poro and not give him a draw, but in the end I do just decide to let it go, just so I can save everything to deal with the actual threat on the board, which is the Forerunner. So I get the draw off the Poro, he scores a point. it does draw me into the 4 mana 4 might deflect unit, which is going to be good for the follow-up. And he decides to play a Doran's Ring, equips his Dirk to the Forerunner, and does decide to push it into my battlefield in the end. So it attacks with 8 might. I have a Poro, an Ezreal, and a Honest Broker, which are slightly hidden by the glare, which is my fault. But on the attack, I use my defend trigger from the Ezreal. So at this point in time, it's going to do 3. Then I decide to chain my Wages of Pain on the Forerunner. So that's 6 damage in total if both of these resolve now. And then I can also use, like I said before, use the Death Grip to kill my own Honest Broker to give the 2 might to the Ezreal, still on the chain. So it'll be Chainlink 1 Ezreal, Chainlink 2 Wizards of Pain, Chainlink 3 Death Grip. So my Ezreal goes to 5 might, so it will go, Death Grip will give it 2 might, so Ezreal's on 5 might, Wages of Pain will deal 3 damage to the Forerunner, and then the Ezreal 5 damage will be able to just kill the Forerunner. So the only unit I actually lose is an Honest Broker, but I still get the gold from it. I get the draw from the Death Grip, and then I get the gold from the Wages of Pain as well. So here I'm just explaining what I'm doing, because I don't think I said it clearly enough when I actually explained what I was trying to do, and I just don't think he understood that I was just chaining all of them at reaction speed, because the Wages of Pain is a reaction. But I think that's just my fault for not clarifying everything. But yeah, it goes through in the end. He doesn't have a response, and at this point I'm feeling pretty good about everything, because he has to play more units to get back on the board, but my Ezreal, even if I don't have any more buffs, is just going to be able to snipe one of the mechs if it ever decides to push in. He plays a Loyal Pup and the Baby Dead Bloom orange card in base, just to build up his board for next time, because I think he's just going to plan to do another strong push next time, since I've obviously used 2 combat tricks and obviously lost a unit on my board as well. I do go up to 5 points though, so I'm getting close. I've got the point lead. I can still basically just hold, which is what I decide to do. I play the I think that's, oh, it's the Zorn Punker, or the Zorn Punk. So I kill one of my own golds, I kill one of my gears, so my gold, so you're able to kill a gear he controls, which is just his Dark, because it gives him basically +2 on his attack. And in hand, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, whether I want to play another unit or whether I want to play a combat trick, since I believe I have a Frigid Touch in my hand. So with the 5-up that I have, I can Frigid Touch. So it means that I can, if he attacks him with the mechs, I can -2 both mechs with a repeat, and then my 2 damage from my Poro is able to basically clear 2 of the mechs. My Ezreal can kill one of his 3-drops. And then my Zorn Punk is also 3 might, so that's also able to kill one of his 3-drops. So even if he does attack him with everything, I basically still clear his entire board, and I still have units in my hand to play more things, because he's down to, I think, only like 3 or 4 cards in hand at this point. So I'm just working out exactly what I want to do, trying to figure out the specific line that I want to do. I know that I'm going to use Ezreal to basically just kill one of his 3-drops. Trying to figure out which one is the best one to kill. I don't think it does end up mattering that much, but I think I kill the pup first, just because it's the only one that really has an effect, because at this point the dog is just a regular 3 might unit at this point, because he's already used the it entering ready. So I'm just trying to make sure that I play my cards correctly and I do exactly what I need to do. I'm trying to figure out if I can Frigid Touch the 4 might guy he's attacking with, and that changes anything, but it doesn't really in the end. So I just -2 one of the dogs, -2 the dog, -2 one of the mechs. So my Poro can kill what are now the 1 might units. The Zorn Punk can kill the other 3 might unit, I can save my Ezreal just by using his own ability to move him back by recycling a rune. So I still have him on the board. And yeah, so he does take the battlefield and draw a card, but I'm still feeling pretty good about the situation, because I still, at the very least, I can move my Ezreal into any of the battlefields, because I know I have another combat trick in hand. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but I do have something in hand to deal with at least one of the battlefields, and unless he plays like another unit this turn, which I don't think he ends up doing, I'm still basically ahead, because my Ezreal I can use the action to return it to base whenever I want, so I can basically use it almost like I can ready it again. If it holds a battlefield, I can just pull it back using this action and then just manually move it. So I used a Frost Cub in hand with the additional cost to -2, and then moving the Ezreal just to snipe it. I think he's thinking whether he wants to punch first it, but I don't think he does, just because I can always bring back my Ezreal back to base. So he uses a punch first to make one of his units not die, especially with how late it is into the game and how close it's getting. It could have been a correct play to do, but he'd go down back to 6 runes on his next turn, and I don't know if he'd have enough to play, especially with the cold shot in his hand that he wants to play at some point. So at this point, I just played the format unit in my hand that has deflect, I forgot his name, and the spell that plays a Sand Soldier that has repeat. I just play it for 2. I didn't actually pull any Sand Soldier tokens, so I just use a spare random card as the token, and then I hide another card. So at this point, he basically has to, in my head, he has to have another accelerate unit, and it has to be big enough to like clear my entire board, and I don't think there's one in the sealed that actually does that. But he plays down the accelerated Scarecrow unit, which I think has been played on me 4 times in the evening at this point, and has basically cleared and nearly lost me every single game it's been played in, and it definitely lost me one of them. So he plays that, he equips it with a bow, accelerated, and then he goes to move in, and with the math on it, I can kill it, as long as he doesn't have any combat tricks, because my Ezreal deals 3 to it. I think it's at 8 might at this point, because it gains +1 assault for each unit I have on the board, and I have 3. So my Ezreal can snipe it and deal damage, then I can bring it back, and then I can just have the 2 units still on the board to kill it. If I can remember its might value correctly. I think the card that I have hidden is the Emperor's Divide that moves things back from base, almost like a fight or flight. Yes, it is. So I just decided to move back my Ezreal and the Sand Soldier token. The Ezreal, just so it saves me having to pay the cycle cost. And yeah, with the amount of damage that the Ezreal's done on the Scarecrow, it means that just keeping my format unit there will allow it to trade and basically clear the battlefield. And with me being at 6 points, it basically means all I need to do next turn is to just push in both battlefields and double conquer, and then I win the game. So that's what I'm thinking to do at this point. So he needs to either use a card to not trade, or just let it trade and then still basically be behind and save his punch first, I think he has in hand, to protect his monkey on the other battlefield. So he goes to cold shot here, repeating it just to get a few more cards, because I think he can tell that if he doesn't do something good now, or either try to push and win this combat, or to just hold the monkey on the other side, he will just lose the game because of how close I am to 8 and then being able to just double conquer. So they do end up trading. He hides a card, which does end up being the Windsinger. And he has a Punch first in hand as well. So with him passing over to me, I'm trying to figure out how exactly I can guaranteed win the game. I think the best thing to do is to definitely start off with an Ezreal move to try and see if I can do some damage. I end up drawing another cub, so I -2 the monkey, because at this point I can just move the Ezreal in, do the 3 damage, and if he doesn't have anything good, it will just basically win me the game on the spot, because I can just move one of my other units into the other battlefield. So I'm thinking a bit here, making sure that I do the right move, because I think if I do the wrong move at any of this point, he can still get back into the game, because I'm only on 1 card in hand, and I'm basically banking on my Ezreal not dying at any point, because if it does, I basically have nothing at all. Well, at least nothing that I can keep my deck based around on what I'm doing at the minute. So he plays the Windsinger. It adds the Ezreal back to my hand. Obviously it doesn't do any damage because the Ezreal isn't at the battlefield anymore, so I don't end up killing the monkey. I'm thinking about how I can order my attacks to get the most value, and try and clear the battlefield again. I don't know if I can do it with just the cards I have in hand, because even if I move the cub in, it's just gonna trade if he has no other units or spells, because the monkey's on 2 and the Windsinger's on 1. So I go to move the cub in, and I think he does use his punch first, but at this point, with how the runes are and how the game's gone, and me having the Ezreal back in my hand, and him basically using a card to make me go -1 in a rune just so I can play the Ezreal again, I think I'm okay, because with the punch first, he goes down to 2 runes, so he's not really even able to play a lot next turn, even if he wanted to. He does get another draw off the Draven, because obviously he wins the combat, but I just move my Sand Soldier into my blank battlefield, go to play my Ezreal again, because he's basically been the best card for me this entire game. Is just what I've been relying on. And then I forgot the name of this one as well, the 2 might unit that gains +1 might if he's at the same location as another unit I control. So I just go to full stack the other battlefield, and he scoops because he realizes he can't manage to push into the battlefield, so he managed to win the game. So in the end, after the evening, we played 3 rounds of best of 3. That was just one of the games that I played, or else this video would be about 3 hours long. I managed to go 2-1. I lost my first round to someone playing Renata, just because they pulled quite good yellow and blue commons and uncommons, and they had quite a lot of removal, like Wages and Pains and stuff like that. I won round 2, which was one of the games shown there, against Draven Rek'Sai, and then I managed to win round 3 as well, so ending 2-1. I think my deck ended up being okay. It wasn't the best in the room, but it definitely got the job done, and I wasn't too unhappy with how it went. And yeah, I did manage to enter another one as well in the weekend, so I did actually manage to enter 2, and that one I managed to go, it was best of 1 instead, but we played 6 rounds with a 35-minute round timer, which I think was cool for sealed. It was nice to test out the best of 1 format. I don't think it was awful, but I think for constructed I do prefer best of 3, but for sealed it just meant the games went a bit faster, and it's not too much of a competitive format. But in that one I managed to pull the Lucian champion kit, and I already knew that the orange Lucian was basically, and the Lucian kit was the best one of the pre-rift, and it definitely didn't disappoint, as I went 6-0 and basically won all my games. The orange Lucian champion unit is so disgustingly good. It's just hard to describe unless you've actually played with it and tried to beat it. It just lets you, as soon as you're ahead on points, you basically can't lose, because you can always, your Lucian always clears basically everything they do, because it gets up to about 12 every single time, as long as you have about 5 equipment in your deck. Yeah, it's just clearly the best deck in the sealed format. I did play 2 other Lucians. It wasn't just other random decks. There were people that definitely had some good pulls in their decks. As one of the Lucians that I played did have 2 of the, he opened the orange Lucian champion kit, and then he also pulled another orange one in his packs. And yeah, it was quite difficult, but we did manage to win out in the end. And yeah, it was definitely a fun day, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing another pre-rift. I have one more coming up later in the week, before Spiritforged actually comes out on Friday, and then yeah, I'm already looking forward to the Unleashed ones. So yeah, the deck list that I played for Lucian is on screen. It's not amazing. I only got the 1 punch fast that comes in the Lucian pack, but it doesn't really matter. It's basically good enough out of the box, as long as you get some good cards in your pack, especially like maybe another equipment and just some good generic cards. Like I managed to play yellow as my other colour, and yellow having removal, extra units, and the Under Titan definitely helped win a couple of games. And obviously the Vanguard Armory, I don't really see it a whole lot, but it can basically just win games by itself alongside your Lucian that you basically always want to protect, almost like Aurelia does. But yeah, that's all from me this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully this weekend I'll be able to upload the first episode of a series that I'm looking to make. So starting with just one of the new starter decks that released with Spiritforged. So definitely keep a lookout for that if you're interested. Subscribe and like and all that good stuff, and bye.